Good morning and welcome into the Farzy Show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marc Farzetta. This is the Steven Singer Studios. Phillies suck at baseball. What else do we got? That's pretty much it. That makes me want to end the show. Maybe we'll just go right to the Hugh Douglas interview, and we'll have fun on Tuesday, on this fine Hughes day. And then maybe just call it a day and talk some basketball, maybe. Nah, I don't really feel like it. Yeah, today sucks. I was just saying yesterday, and by the way, the interview with Hugh on this fine Hughes day is a lot of fun. Just so you know that there's going to be fun had on the program today, and it's not going to be all me being doom and gloom when it comes to the Phillies. Did I say doom and gloom? I didn't mean that. I meant reporting the news as to what the Phillies did yesterday, because it was awful. And in yesterday's show, I said, the Phillies have this great opportunity here with the Sixers out, and obviously the Flyers have been out. They didn't even make the playoffs. And the Eagles not in action yet. The Phillies have this great opportunity to really grab you, right? Really pull you in, get you interested in the season. Look, this Phillies team can make some noise. Look, this Phillies team, as Reese Hoskins said, can go on a run. And they're not going on a run. They had this little makeup game here with the Reds, and they got out to this great 4-0 lead. They're making things. They come back from being down 2-0 to be up 4-2, and Alec Boehm was getting hits for you. You saw Bryce Harper get you a hit. You get some guys. Andrew Knapp comes back, gets a hit, gets a double for you, and you're feeling good about this team coming back. But it's only a 2-run lead, and you're already in the bullpen because Spencer Howard didn't last long. But by the way, you'll hear from Spencer Howard in just a minute. About his role in this pitching staff. I'm beyond frustrated when it comes to this team, and I'm beyond frustrated when it comes to the job that Joe Girardi's doing, because as I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, and I know a lot of you have been saying it for even longer than that, there's just been no improvement at the managerial position. I didn't think Gabe Kapler was the right man for the job here in Philly. I thought Joe Girardi would be a much better fit. I thought Joe Girardi would be a much better manager. I have not seen anything to indicate that he's anything better than what you had already in Gabe Kapler. And the way he has managed this bullpen and going to Falter came in, pitched very well, went through 4 innings of get charged for 1 run baseball over 4 innings. And then you come out in that 7th inning. And that's when the wheels really fell off. Feliz hasn't pitched in like 5 years. And Joe Girardi's like, nah, I know the ticket here with a 2-run ball game. I know what to do here. He might be facing Nick Castellanos, who has been, only MVP worthy so far this season. Grand slam home run. And Tom McCarthy and John Kruk couldn't go back to it enough that in this 12-4 Reds victory over the Phillies, where the Phillies blew their 21st save of the season, they're 4 off the mark, off their record. They had 24 in all of last year, I believe it was. They got 21 so far now. They've blown 7 saves in the last 6 games, which just makes me think that's impressive, actually. It's hard to do that. When you have more blown saves than games played, that's difficult. But you leave it up to the Phillies, man. They make dreams come true. You had Tom McCarthy and John Kruk mention it time and time again in this 12-4 loss to the Reds. Hey, 25 minutes ago, you were leading 4-2, and now it's 12-4. Oh my God. It really is a special kind of terrible. And I know people were crunching the numbers. Friend of the show, Matt Breen, was putting it out last year on social media, saying that the Phillies are just historically bad with the bullpen. And it didn't just mean last year's bullpen. It meant the Phillies as a franchise who go back to, 1883? Did they have bullpens in 1883? Or it was pretty much you had like one pitcher to pitch 150 games. Hey, go get him, fella. So your arm falls off. Historically, the Phillies have had the worst bullpen in all of baseball's history. And last year was a highlight of that, and this year's a highlight of that. Last year, you had the Phillies go out there with Matt Klentak, and they brought in a guy like Workman, and they tried to rework the bullpen, tried to hit the reset button, realizing what a horrible problem it was for this Phillies team. They hit the reset button. They brought in guys like Workman. Guess what? Still sucked. This year, you bring in Archie Bradley. Guess what? Still sucks. All the things you're trying to do to this bullpen, Dave Dombrowski obviously was the guy that brought in Archie Bradley, and still this bullpen sucks. It's just one of those things you just feel snake bitten. And even when you might have a guy pitching well, Archie Bradley had a little stretch there before he got hurt where he was pitching well, you still feel like Joe Girardi's going to mismanage it somehow. And I have told myself for a long time that I'm a baseball first guy. And the way that baseball has really pretty much been run as an organization, as an entity, as a business, has pissed me off over the last couple of years more than anything. Like even going back to the strike in '94, when I was a kid trying to enjoy 12 years old, trying to enjoy baseball, it has just been a joke. And the way this bullpen gets managed makes me feel like, man, I just can't wait for football season to roll around. And I never used to feel like that. I was always like the last guy holding out for baseball. And I was never one to hit the reset or the fast forward button to get through this little dead period with no football. I've never been one to hit that button. But man, I am all over that. I am freaking smacking that button right now, because it just seems like a hopeless cause. It seems like a lost cause right now with the Phillies. And Reese's comments the other day on Saturday after the Saturday loss only makes me bang my head against the wall more, because he's going out there saying, hey, don't concentrate on the negative stuff. Don't concentrate on the bad stuff. Concentrate on the fact that Alec Bowman started hitting again. Concentrate on the fact that Bryce Harper got a hit, that Andrew Knapp came back. Right? Concentrate on the good stuff. How can you? I'm reminded of the great line from Jim Schwartz, former Eagles defensive coordinator. Reminded of this great line about totally different circumstances. Nigel Bradley. Remember when he got caught with the gun at the airport? And that was shortly thereafter. He had punched the Cabana boy. Remember that fun story? Yeah. Well, Jim Schwartz came out and he said, you know what? You do enough dumbass things and you get labeled a dumbass. Best way to not be called a dumbass is don't do dumbass things. Well, if you want us to focus on the positive, create a lot more positive things than negative things. Because even in a game where you played bad and you might go through what I like to call the moral loss, there's no moral victories. Well, are there moral losses? Because it does feel like that from time to time. And a moral loss is where you still win the game, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like you still highlighted more of the negative stuff. But at least those all end with, well, at least they won the ball game. It ends on a positive note. What's going to end on a positive note with this Phillies team? 21 blown saves. And you're 4 games under 500? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and concentrate on those blown saves. You cut those in half, you're talking about a first-place team. Just cut them in half, talking about a first-place team. Hell, take away a third of them, you're talking about a first-place team. This is unreal what the Phillies are going. Even by the atrocious Phillies bullpen standards, this is atrocious. So let's get to some of the things that these guys had to say. We're going to get, by the way, that a Sixers coming up in a minute here with some of the news that's broken over the last couple of days regarding a possible trade with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yeah, okay. I'm going to address it simply because it's out there, and hopefully me addressing it just makes it go away, because it's the dumbest idea for a trade in the history of trade ideas. But anyway, let's hear from, first off, the guy who started this thing off yesterday, Spencer Howard, who pitched just 2 1/3 yesterday. He allowed 2 runs in his time out there. And Spencer Howard has kind of gotten spot starts, if you will. He hasn't exactly gotten the equal opportunity to go out there. Like, for instance, he last pitched 8 days ago. And it wasn't even the game that he started. He last started a game 2 weeks ago. And before that, he started a game 10 days prior to that. So it's kind of herky-jerky. And I say good for this guy in saying what he said. Here is Spencer Howard. Now, some of the post-game stuff wasn't available on the Phillies website as it normally is, so they're on the road. So I went around the different media, and you'll see their names on here, so I give them credit, so I'm not stealing their material here. Dave Uram from my old stomping grounds there at WIP, now of KYW, put this out there when Spencer Howard was asked about the way he's being used in the Phillies pitching staff.
I think any pitcher would want to get in games frequently, but I think there's still things that I mean, I know I'm going to take and build off of. So there's still room for improvement, and yeah.
That's how it ends, by the way. That's how it ends. Just lost for words. I'm sure any 24-year-old pitcher would want to be in a ball game as often as possible. I'm sure any 24-year-old pitcher that, by the way, was once looked at as, this guy's the next good arm in the rotation here, young up-and-coming arm. I'm sure any 24-year-old would want to be a consistent starter. Every 5 days he's out there on the bump. Not the case for Spencer Howard. And when he's addressing the media, he's basically saying that same thing. It's like, dude, what do you want me to say here? Of course I want to be a starter every 5th day for this ball club. I don't want to be coming in out of the bullpen. Maybe. I don't want to be getting spot starts here and there when I'm only really needed to come out here and be a starter. This guy should be getting regular reps in the rotation. Like, what are you developing here? Like, Vince Velasquez has come around this year. Couldn't be happier to see that. But after that, it's pretty much up for grabs. I mean, Eflin's out there. He's doing okay. You have Wheeler out there who's been dominant. Aaron Nola has been shaky throughout this season. You mean to tell me you can't get regular starts for Spencer Howard in this rotation? I understand that you want to bolster your bullpen, but maybe you should have bullpen arms do that, not a guy that you want to be a starter here long-term in Philadelphia. I give him every credit in the world for not just being like, hey, whatever I could do to help the ball club, that'd be great. And by the way, where do they have this poor bastard?
I think any pitcher would want to.
Is he in a closet? Jeez, where are they doing these post-game press conferences? Joe Girardi, after the game, talked about how frustrated this loss was.
This team's been pretty good about bouncing back, the next day, but it's extremely frustrating. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's really frustrating.
That one's from John Clark, NBC Sports Philly. Well, I'm glad you're frustrated, Joe, but what about the decision to go to Phillies there at the end of that game, or in the 7th inning, rather, and taking Falter out?
Yeah, well, obviously, I could have went to Hector, I guess. I was not using Archie tonight. He needed a day. I could have went to Brogdon. We liked Neftali against that group of guys, and it just didn't work out.
Boy, I'd say 21 blown saves. 7 blown saves in your last 6 games. The thing that really sucks about when you have a bad bullpen, and we know really well here in Philly what that's like, obviously, as I've said many times already, the thing that's really bad about that is that you never feel like you're going to win. In every close game, even in games where you go out and you maybe get a couple of run lead, 2-run lead in this case, 3-run leads, 4-run leads, you just feel like, all right, get to the 7th or 8th inning. It's like when you know you have a team that collapses in the second half of games, or a hockey team that collapses in the 3rd period, or a hockey team that can't play in overtime, or a hockey team that sucks in a shootout. Like, you just feel like it's always just a looming cloud over your head. You're going to lose. It's not safe. You need a 10-run lead. You need a 20-point lead. That's the only way you're going to win this game, is that because you can't close it out. You're not going to have a bullpen come in. You're not going to have 4th quarter defense to close out this game. You're going to collapse. That's what really sucks the most about. I mean, other than the fact that you obviously lose, but that's what sucks the most about having a bad bullpen is you never really feel like you could sit back and enjoy a win. You just always feel like even when you do have a lead, you're about to lose it. Sooner or later, you're gonna lose. Worst part about having a bad bullpen, and the Phillies have an atrocious bullpen right now. I'm just beside myself. I really am. And listening to T-Mac and John Krug constantly reference, 25 minutes ago, this game was, you were winning. There's just no answer right now. If you're the Phillies and Rhys Hoskins isn't doing what you thought he'd be doing, his power numbers are up, which is great. Love to see that. But everything else is down. Like, Rhys Hoskins should never have an on-base percentage that's like around 300. Alec Boehm is starting to hit, but his on-base percentage is well below. What was it? 271 last I saw. Like, it's just unbelievable. And I guess the fact that only because it's the Phillies that it is believable. Boehm is now at 279 for his on-base percentage. From bad defense, which has certainly contributed to the blown saves here throughout the season, to just bad pitching overall, bad managerial decisions, Phillies should not be seeing the baseball in a 2-run ball game. And Joe Girardi thought it was a good idea to bring him in there in an inning where he'd be facing Nick Castellanos. Like, that's all you need to know. That's just terrible. Hey, speaking of terrible, Let's talk about this trade real quick with Ben Simmons. The more I think about it, the more I continue to think that the only slam dunk deal is Dame Lillard. Okay, get that out of the way. Now there's this story out there about the Minnesota Timberwolves being very interested. They badly want Ben Simmons. All right, that's adorable. I badly want I don't know, a Maserati. Okay, let's say I badly want another bedroom in my home. Right, a nice little guest room. That'd be nice. Yeah, there's those things that exist that you badly want, but you ain't gonna get. And right now, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they ain't getting Ben Simmons. And you know why? They don't have the assets to pay for him. They got like no first round picks. They got nothing this upcoming year in the draft. And they certainly are not going to trade D'Angelo Russell here. You know why? Because I won't allow it. I will climb the Art Museum steps. In this day and age, that's a tall order for me. And I will bitch and moan and become the most annoying human being in the history of Philadelphia sports. If they ever truly consider trading Ben Simmons for D'Angelo Russell. I want nothing to do with D'Angelo Russell. I am not giving up Ben Simmons and just the defensive end of his ball game, of his game, to bring in D'Angelo Russell and that volume shooting, not great field goal percentage, can be piss poor attitude type of guy. I already kind of got that in Ben Simmons, it feels like, when it comes to a sporadic pissy attitude. I certainly don't need to make a trade for another one. I know that would be ridding yourself of Ben, but I'm not at the point that a lot of other people at when it comes to Ben Simmons. I'm still under the belief that he'll at least put in some work this offseason and become a better basketball player next year. And I know what I'm still going to be getting back next year, even with no work, is still a pretty good basketball player. But it ain't worth D'Angelo Russell. Dame Lillard, absolutely. Again, the cupboard's open. What do you want other than Joel Embiid? When it comes to CJ McCollum, let's have a conversation. Let's kick the tires. Let's see what we can work out. D'Angelo Russell, thanks, but no thanks. Minnesota Timberwolves, you got nothing for me. There's nothing you got that I could want. Maybe a 2022 first-round pick we can have a conversation if you even do, because it seems like you got nothing in that in the terms of the cupboard not being stocked when it comes to draft picks. But D'Angelo Russell, no thanks. Saw Karl Anthony Towns' name mentioned. That's hilarious. You got nothing. I don't even want to hear about the Minnesota Timberwolves from this point going forward when it comes to a possible trade for Ben Simmons. Did I mention the Phillies suck? Did I mention that already? Yeah, I think I did. So let me just ball that up real quick. That little rumor that's out there, that's floating out there, and just hopefully that means nothing. When it comes to some other names that you could be hearing, throughout some of these trade rumors attached to Ben Simmons, it really just comes down to the Portland Trailblazers and let's make a deal. I saw some other names being thrown out there yesterday in terms of other places Dame Lillard could go. Celtics were one of those spots, and it got me thinking, what better way to announce your presence with authority for Brad Stevens than to go out there and acquire Dame Lillard and put him on the Celtics? The only thing is that would put Jason Tatum and Dame Lillard together, and if you're the Portland Trailblazers, there's one guy that is obviously going to be involved in that trade, and that's Jaylen Brown. There's no way you're moving on from a guy like Dame Lillard without bringing in Jaylen Brown if you're making a trade with the Celtics. It would be an interesting little thing going on right there. I saw Ime Udoka address the media yesterday. That got me in the feels just because I know he could have been here in Philly and was here in Philly as the assistant bench boss, if you will. But looking at the Celtics, I think that's another option for the Portland Trailblazers, and I'd keep my eye on them. It's another team in the Eastern Conference that obviously the West they wouldn't have to play the West as much, so the Portland Trailblazers wouldn't have to worry about facing them. Same thing goes for the Celtics, and moving Jaylen Brown out there, you wouldn't have to face them. Just another name that's out there that I thought was very interesting. So we'll continue to follow that story, and hopefully it doesn't come back to bite the Sixers in the butt, whatever they end up doing. Again, it's going to be difficult to trade Ben now because the draft stock is because the trade stock is so low, the value is so low. But if they are going to make that deal, I am hoping that is a deal that is done with the Portland Trailblazers to bring Dame Lillard here to Philadelphia, or we could have a conversation about CJ McCollum. So we'll continue to, like I said, follow all that as it goes on. There is one guy that we're going to see a little bit later in the show today in our Morning Rush segment, and that man's name is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts did an interview with, I believe it's Alabama CBS, local Alabama CBS TV. And he did an interview, and the whole time I'm watching the interview, and I'll play a cut for you, I thought, there's one guy that at least you don't have to worry about his mentality. Here's what I know. We talk a lot about what we know about Jalen Hurts and what we don't know and all that stuff. Here's what I do know. Jalen Hurts has got that swagger. And I know it doesn't matter because it's not wins and losses, but it could certainly add to wins and losses here. It can certainly add to wins when you have a confident quarterback. Do you want the guy that's going to be sheepish? Do you want the guy that you're looking at and you're like, that ain't it, man? Or do you want the guy to go, oh, at least this guy's confident? That's really all we can tell so far. A couple of good flashes that you saw last year, fine, whatever. But in terms of mentality, when we talk about that a lot with other athletes, whether it's the Phillies bullpen, whether it's the Phillies manager, whether it's Ben Simmons not dunking at the end of the game against the Hawks, whatever it might be, or Ben Simmons trying to improve. At least we don't have to worry about the mindset and mentality of Jalen Hurts. At least not yet. We'll wait for the season to actually start to really be concerned about that. But as of right now, you're seeing him do all the things you want to see. You want to see him on the football field, throwing passes to Devontae Smith. You want to see him doing interviews looking all swaggy, right? Yeah, that's what you want to see. At least this is one guy that through the course of the offseason, we don't got to worry about the mental stability of and the mental approach to his profession. We'll highlight that coming up in our Morning Rush segment. We got that for you. We also got Terrell Owens on a football field. Never against seeing that. So we'll show you that also coming up in just a second. But before we get to Hugh Lamont Douglas III on this fine Hughes Day, let's jump into our fine sponsor here, Steven Singer at the Steven Singer Studios. Steven makes it too damn easy to buy a diamond. Perfect price, real jewelry experts, right there at the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right in Philadelphia. The man validates parking. He's incredible. I love Steven Singer. And here's why guys like to say that I hate Steven Singer, right? They like to say this because he makes it just too easy. Takes all the excuses out. I can't buy the diamond yet. It's too expensive. I can't buy the diamond yet. It's too much of a hassle. No. Steven Singer makes it easy for you. I hate Steven Singer. I have no excuses. That's how some people mean it. So if you go to the other corner of 8th and Walnut, you'll get taken care of by a real jewelry expert, a real jeweler. You'll get taken care of with the perfect price every single day. So you don't have to worry about taking advantage of some discount, promo code, some sale that happened. Oh, the sale was yesterday. Damn, I missed it. No. Sales every day because every day it's set at the perfect price. So you walk in there, you don't have to worry about, all right, this is 1,000. All right, I can get them down to 700. No. It's already down. There's no markup there. Every single day takes care of his customers with the perfect price, guaranteed. And also every single day, fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. Steven's been taking care of people in our area for over 4 decades. He specializes in diamond engagement rings, and his real staff and real jewelry experts will make sure they walk you through everything and make you feel special. No call center, no sales, no haggling, no codes, no discounts, just every day, guaranteed the perfect price every single day. Check out Steven Singer Jewelers at the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right in Philadelphia, or online at IHateStevenSinger.com. Always fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. Without further ado, on this fine Hughes Day morning, let's check in with our good friend Hugh Lamont Douglas III on the Zatos Investments guest line. And joining us now on the Zatos Investments guest line on this happy Hughes Day morning. Happy Hughes Day, Hugh Lamont Douglas III.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
We're doing good. We're doing well. We're okay. Actually, all that was a lie. Sixers are terrible. Obviously, they're not in it because your Hawks.
The Hawks are in it, and we're sitting down here collectively holding our breath here in Atlanta because we don't know. Trae Young and the MRI. The last time I checked, we don't know. Regardless of what they say, Mark, he's not going to be 100%. So that's a problem. That's a problem for us.
Sure. The Phillies bullpen sucks too. It's not football season yet, and the Flyers had a disappointing year. So yeah, everything pretty much sucks right now. So other than that, we're doing fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine how it is in Philly, especially not knowing the quarterback situation. It has, as a matter of fact, I digress. Has that been resolved? by the way?
It's look, everyone is assuming that it's Jalen Hurts' job to lose.
Yeah.
I don't think Joe Flacco is coming in here to take anybody's job. Nick Sirianni lets it be questioned simply because he says everything's a competition. But I think we're all kind of hoping that's just a bunch of BS. And I think that the safe bet is that is just a bunch of coach speak BS. And it's Jalen Hurts' team to lose.
Yeah. I mean, because the one thing that you do not want to have is a quarterback controversy.
Mm.
And that's a position that, honestly, that you have to have solidified. You want to have solidified before the season starts.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
No, I'm with you, 100%. Let's get back to Trae Young for a second here because you mentioned that name. MRI has him questionable with a bone bruise.
Yes.
I think, now, conventional wisdom is he plays in Game 4 no matter what. But like you said, it's just a question of how healthy he'll be.
Yeah. I mean, that's all it is. You know, it's one of those things like, I mean, let's just break it down and call it what it is. It's the threshold for pain. I mean, that's what we're talking about. How much pain can he withstand? I mean, because think about it, Marc, at this part of the year, everybody's banged up. Everybody's tired. Everybody has issues that they're dealing with. Your knee hurt. Oh, my butt cheek cramping up, whatever the case may be. So you have to sit back and say, as an athlete, I mean, what am I willing to deal with? What can I endure? And that's basically what Trae Young has to do. You know, his ankle's going to be tacked up super tight. You know, with a bone bruise, only thing they can heal that is time. That's about pain tolerance. So they're going to probably, you know, give him some good. He's going to get the good drugs, and he's going to go out there and give it the old college try. I mean, you have to. It's the playoffs. You got to go out there college try.
Have you ever played with a bone bruise?
You know what? I know I played with something with my knee. I don't know if it was a bone bruise. I think it was a bone bruise. Yeah, it's not cool. It's not a great feeling. It's not a great feeling at whatsoever.
How about the whole sore butt thing?
You know what? The butt cheek? No, I ain't had no sore butt cheek. not the sore butt cheek. But you know how I played with a twisted ankle before, and you know, like that's about, like I said, that's about pain tolerance because it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
I'm curious. Everyone in Atlanta, I know you've been on this train for a while. When it comes to Trae Young, are people looking at him like he is a superstar already?
Did you say that? I couldn't hear you.
Are you looking at Trae Young, and is Atlanta looking at Trae Young right now as if he's a superstar already?
Yes. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Something happened with the sound. Yeah, I think that this series right now, people are starting to look at Trae in a different light. Love him or hate him. And I will say this, Philadelphia, especially on my timeline, on my Twitter feed, feels some kind of way about Trae. So
you don't say.
So for me, that's my measuring stick. If Atlanta, if Philadelphia doesn't like you, you're probably in a good space. like that's because if Philly doesn't like you, that means because you're good. You know what I mean? It's like you're good and you've become a thorn in the side of Philadelphians. So to be hated and not playing Philadelphia, that's a good thing.
Yeah, you've earned it, so to speak. You've earned it.
You know, when you start, like I've had Philly fans come on my timeline since the playoffs have been over just to take shots at Trae. I love it.
Yeah, well, you know, we hold a grudge. I don't know if you know that. Well, of course you know that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So Trae Young obviously is looking good up until the injury. We'll see what happens in the rest of the series as Game 4 plays out tonight in Atlanta with the Hawks, obviously, and the Bucks. But on our end of things here in Philadelphia, we're all eyeing up Ben Simmons. When you watch Ben Simmons in 7 games against the Hawks, and when you've watched him throughout his career, whether or not be consistently or inconsistently, whatever, what do you take away from Ben Simmons? Athlete to athlete, if you're evaluating Ben Simmons, what do you see?
You know what? And to be honest, I got a chance. Like, I watched more Ben Simmons in this series than I've seen of Ben Simmons all season, all for his whole career that he's been a Sixer. But I will say this, and I told you this, Marc. It felt like something was bothering Ben outside of basketball.
Right.
He went from being an aggressor, talking about, oh yeah, I'll guard Trae, I'll be the guy, to wilting away at the worst times that you could actually wilt away as a professional athlete. You wilted away in the playoffs. And it was something where, you know, you could clearly see that something was amiss. So that's what, like, when I think of Ben Simmons, that's what I think of. I'm like, first of all, I'm worried about it, concerned about his well-being, because that's something that is odd. I mean,
no, it certainly is. It certainly is. So aside from that, and I'm not asking you to name names here. If you'd like to, go right ahead.
Yeah,
But have you ever been around an athlete that was super talented, obviously, but there was something holding them back? And then there was an embarrassing moment, like Ben Simmons obviously not dunking in Game 7 with 2:30 to go, whatever it was. And then he says, you know what, I'm going to go into this offseason, I'm going to work really hard, and I'm going to come back better than ever. Have those people really ever gone over the top at so many years into their career already and said, all right, I'm going to do it, and then they actually do it in the offseason? Or is it just, pouring honey potion in our ear?
It's lip service. I haven't been around anybody who's done that. I haven't. Luckily for me, I've always been around a bunch of stellar quality athletes who believed in working hard. I mean, I guess that's you could attribute that to Big Red, and the guys that he amassed. I don't know what it is, man. And just looking at some of the stuff coming out of Philadelphia, how the Sixers are kind of non-committal. By the way, shout out to Howard Eskin for being Howard Eskin and asking the questions that only Howard Eskin can ask them. Point blank, matter of fact, uncomfortable, make you want to punch Howard in the face kind of question. That for being the dude that he is. But yeah, they're real non-committal. It's hard, man, because the thing of it is this: you're not going to talk about what's bothering Ben Simmons in public, because you don't want to. He might not want to share all that, so you're going to keep it to basketball. But to me, it feels like it's something more. It feels like it's deeper than basketball to me. It just does.
Okay, all right. So, but bottom line is, when it comes to the act of improving and getting in the gym and getting in the jump shots,
I don't see. That's what I'm saying with him. I don't know, because see, this is the thing with Ben. It's tough to say, because there's a pattern of laziness, if you will, if that's the word, if that's the word that I could kind of equate that to, because I know what you're asking me,
right?
But I'm taking Ben Simmons from what I've seen from him in college, and I'm taking this moment, and I feel like in this moment something's going on. But to your point, there has been moments in college where you can point to and say, well, hey, this cat doesn't want to work hard. So that's the tough thing. That's why it's so tough to answer the question.
I got you.
Yeah, because it's like, on one hand, you feel like something's wrong, but damn it, man, you kind of have a history of being an underachiever, a dude with a phenomenal talent, but you don't want to reach the pinnacle of your expertise. You don't want to reach the pinnacle of your talent. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard to say.
I want to ask you a couple more things about just sports in general here, and finding that eye of the tiger, as they say in athletes. I mean, you have to know sometimes that you'll look at an athlete and just say, oh, man, this guy doesn't have that fight. Yeah. And I'm hoping that's not Ben, because I've seen him triggered. I've seen him pissed off on the basketball court. I haven't necessarily seen him attack practice tenaciously or anything like that. But if it's the Phillies bullpen, if it's Ben Simmons attacking the rim, whatever it might be throughout sports, Jalen Hurts, he at least seems like he's got some swagger about him in the limited amount we've seen him. But do you know, when you would line up against somebody else, whether or not that guy had that fight in him or not?
Mostly those are offensive linemen that I tend to, talk trash to, or you just knew that. I wouldn't say they wouldn't have to fight him, because obviously they're in the NFL, but you just knew they weren't ready for the fight that I was about to bring to them. You know what I mean? You weren't ready for that because you didn't see it coming. Like, I've been around people like that, but on the flip side, I've also been around cats that welcomed all that smoke. So, but yeah. I mean, you see it. It's something that you definitely see in an opponent's eyes when they don't want none of what you bring it to the table. None of that. None of that.
I'm curious. I'm sure you've seen the pitchers in Major League Baseball get checked out for the sticky substance.
Who was the cat that just got in trouble for that?
Seattle, was it? I know, it's escaping me right now as well. I can't think of it. Let's just paint this scenario, hypothetical. Hugh Lamont Douglas III's walking off the mound, and an umpire approaches you and says, "Show me your belt, show me your hat, show me your hands, show me your glove." How would you respond to that? Would you be more along the lines of golly shucks, or would you be more along the lines of what was it, Sergio Romo, who took his pants off? What would you do?
I'll probably take my pants off because you know what's funny. I got it. Like you put me in a moment where I can't really imagine, but I guess I would have to be, because all the pitchers are doing it. Everybody's trying to get a leg up in the game. So it's safe to say that I would probably be doing the same thing. So I would be extreme with it. I would be extreme. Yeah, you want to see what I got? You want to really see what I got? Wow. It's what my mama and my daddy gave me right here. And then I hit it with the X-Pop. How they do it?
I can picture all the umpires gathering around and be like, his mom and dad gave him a fine gift. Okay, thank you.
You stupid, man. You stupid.
That's exactly what I picture you. Peace. Like
yeah, what you want? What you want from me? Who else did that? Scherzer did that, didn't he?
Scherzer, I don't know. He didn't go pantsless. He was pissed off. He was pissed off though.
Like in the same inning or something, right? Like 3 times or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was you're supposed to get checked 3 times. I believe it was after the 3rd time he was checked. Joe Girardi said, I think he's rubbing his hair too much. And I swear it was gamesmanship by Joe Girardi. He was just trying to get in his head.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah. And Scherzer flipped out.
He wanted to fight him.
Yeah, 4 times. Yeah, they wanted to fight everybody. Now, I would have been for that. Speak about not wanting that smoke. I don't think the Nationals wanted that smoke, my friend.
You know what's his name? Carlton. The dude that got it all started. The dude in the press conference, Marc can't remember.
Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole. Yeah, it's his fault. It started with him. All he had to do was say, "Hey, Garrett, do you have any foreign substances on your ball?" No.
What?
That's all he had to say. That's all, Marc. No. That's just like if somebody say, Hugh Douglas, have you ever smoked the weeds before? No. Hey, Marc, look at my face, though.
What?
Have you ever smoked the weed? No. How hard is that? How hard is that? Is that hard? Is that hard? Is that hard?
That's you. Watching you do it, it looks easy.
It's like, hey, have you played football in Philadelphia? No. No.
I love you. I love you, man.
It ain't hard, man.
It ain't hard.
Hey, are you wearing a shirt that has an A on it? No. How hard is that?
That you should teach classes. What can I say? You should teach classes.
I mean, you can't tell I'm lying. You can tell I'm lying, but you can't tell from my facial expression.
Right.
Yeah. Then I'm a pitcher, and I'm a Major League Baseball pitcher. I'm about to say National League, I don't know what league, but I'm a pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, whatever.
You can't prove nothing.
No.
You can't prove I'm lying. No.
Hugh, I don't know what to say other than it's always a pleasure. And on this fine Hugh's day of all days.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you right back. Joining us on this fine Hugh's day, Hugh Lamont Douglas III. Thank you, Hugh.
Peace.
I guarantee you there's not too many people I'm going to have on this show that are look you in the eye and just say, I'd probably take my pants off. I don't know if probably take my pants off. Just all nonchalantly. Kind of like he said that. I'd probably take my pants off. And I knew the minute he mentioned, Marc Farzy, you ever smoked the weeds before? I knew that once that got mentioned, the comments would happen. And there's the comments. There's the comments. By the way, he handled that exactly as I thought he would handle that. That man cracks me up. Always good. Always good talking to that gentleman. Always good talking to that gentleman. Let me tell you about our good friends at DraftKings. The DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Do what I do. Bet with DraftKings. Fortunately for me, and we'll get into the big bets, I bet on a certain person to have a big game last night. And we'll get to that in just a minute here. DraftKings Sportsbook is my favorite app to use. America's top-rated sportsbook. It uses DraftKings. That's right. My family uses DraftKings. Friends use DraftKings. It's a good time. DraftKings is putting you courtside with a chance to turn $1 into $100 in site credits. That's right. Pick any basketball team that is still in contention. Bet $1, and if that team wins, you win $100 in site credits. Don't forget, DraftKings Sportsbook also offers great odds and promotions on basketball, baseball, as well as hockey. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable, so you can deposit and withdraw your funds at your convenience. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use promo code Farzy. That's promo code Farzy when you sign up to turn $1 into $100 in site credits. Bet on a basketball team of your choice to win their next game, and if they do, you claim $100 in free site credits when you use promo code Farzy. For a limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, present in Pennsylvania. New customers only. Wager paid out in site credits. Restrictions apply. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. How about our friends over there at Steak and Maine? Tony Cavada, steakandmaine.com. Check it out. Fine dining in the heart of Northeast Maryland. Like I said, I'm going to be down in Maryland yet again this weekend. I'm going to meet a baby. That's right. I'm going to meet my my nephew, my niece-in-law, my wife's niece. So I'm going to go and meet the baby. And we got to go through Maryland to do that, Northeast Maryland. So I might as well just stop at Steak and Maine, treat myself. And whether you like to dine in a more upscale steakhouse or casual bar and patio, you'll enjoy the highest quality prime meats, fresh seafood, world-class oyster bar, and freshly prepared sushi. Ooh, maybe I'll get some oysters this time. I can crush some oysters. But then again, who can't? Well, those that don't like oysters, which I don't know why you wouldn't like oysters. They're delicious. Anthony Bourdain, he credits oysters as a big reason as to why he became such a foodie in his life. Look forward to that documentary on him. And you know what? You can also check out their extensive wine list at Steak and Maine with Cavada Cellars Wines. Open every day for lunch, dinner, or Sunday brunch. Steak and Maine in the heart of Northeast Maryland. Voted #1 place for steaks in America by the Travel Channel and the Cooking Channel. Check it out for yourself at steakandmaine.com. Following all the stories throughout Philadelphia sports, well, you should be following on phlsportsnation.com. Philadelphia Sports Nation, a local Philadelphia sports site covering your favorite teams across blogs and social media. phlsportsnation.com, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience. And how about our friends at FanUp? Download the FanUp app in the App Store. Use promo code FanUp and get 2,000 bonus points to get you started. That's FanUp. The days of playing fantasy sports alone are over. So make sure you download the FanUp app and get in on all the action they have going on. They have super fun daily and weekly contests. You can answer fun questions. You can also rise on their leaderboard, get a lot of points. You could be winning big here at FanUp with great brand prizes, cash, more points, all that stuff. And you can fill out your profile so they know what prizes you are after. Random thing I have in there, DeWalt tools. I'm a big DeWalt tools guy. My brother-in-law is not so handy. I'm probably going to have to bring my tools down to Maryland this weekend, but whatever. So make sure you download the FanUp app in the App Store. Use promo code FanUp and get 2,000 bonus points to get you started right out of the gate. That's FanUp. Just be fans. All right, let's jump ahead now to our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Maine at steakandmaine.com. Let's see what we have here. Man, a lot going on, as a matter of fact. Let's start at the top, all right? Good morning from Dan Schwartz. Good morning, Dan. Phillies scored 4 runs and only lost by 8. Hey, bright side. Let's talk about the positives here. I don't know who angers me more, Wimp Sealski or Reese Hoskins. That's Benny checking in. Reese telling people what to talk about. Benny's also saying, I'm sorry, but shut up. I love an apology before the shut up. That's Benny to Reese, and I think Reese is pissing me off more than Mike. I really look forward to getting Mike Sealski back on this show just to watch the comment section get set ablaze. Anyway, someone needs to get Spencer. Someone needs to get Spencer out. Rob, you're on fire today. Someone needs to get Spencer Howard some Viagra so he could last longer. Maybe, why not the whole Phillies bullpen? Actually, all the starting pitchers that we don't have to see the bullpen. What else do we have? Betty, laugh my house. That's good. Mally, 2 words. I'm starting to hate the Phillies bullpen. I agree. Dan's back. Thank you, Benny. This heat makes me miserable. Thank God I don't live in Seattle. Is something going on in Seattle that I'm unaware of? I'll have to Google Seattle weather. Mally says, good morning, everybody. Good morning to you, Mally. Benny's back. Benny, I was thinking the same thing. It does make you think about that 08 bullpen. And although I love that bullpen, and although I always go back to it, oh, wow, you listed the guys, Madsen, Romero, Scott Air. Scott Air is one of my most random favorite athletes in Philadelphia history. If you ever get, if there's ever an autograph signing or any opportunity you ever get to meet Scott Air, I know that's random, just awesome dude. Hell of a nice guy. Loves talking baseball. I've only had a couple interactions with him, and they were years ago, but that was my takeaway from Scott Air. But anyway, no, as much as I love that bridge to Lidge, I feel like we should have watched every game twice. Like, I feel like we should have watched every single game from 2008 twice just to relish more in how great that bullpen was, because it was absolutely incredible. Who else checking? April. Good morning, April. Glad to see everyone is cranky about our pitching. Yeah, as cranky as she is about our pitching. Yeah, we're all very, very pissed off. I concur. Rob checking and saying, heard Farzy was a cabana boy for the president at Liberty University. What the hell? The closest I ever came to being a cabana boy, I was a swim teacher in an indoor pool, so there was no need for cabanas. I love when April says good morning. Everyone's like, good morning, April. Still room for improvement. That is correct. Not a fan of Spencer Howard. Like they need to give Spencer Howard regular reps. That's one of the things that I hated about Scott Kingery and how they handle it. They gave him all this money to be a super utility player. You got to let young guys get comfortable. It's not a matter of, hey, what position am I going to be at today? Where am I pitching today? Am I pitching today? When's my next start? Like, give these guys a legit chance. Like, let them get settled a little bit. And like the Phillies, to me, okay, here's the bullpen. Bullpen, most consistent problem you could ever think of with the Phillies. You know what's right after that? When to call up and how to use young players. That's the next biggest thing. At the major league level, the bullpen always sucks. The next thing you can always hang your hat on after that when it comes to the Phillies and what they're going to mess up next is how they handle young talent. Oh, we have a young arm that we want in our rotation for years to come. Let's put him in the bullpen. No, wait, let's make him a starter. No, wait, let's put him back down in the minors. No, wait, let's put him back in the rotation. Hold on a second. No, let's make him a bullpen arm again. What the hell, man? That's how I feel about that, while we're being honest. Frozen peas are acceptable, Mally. Is that for Ben Simmons? Is that what we're talking about? D'Angelo Russell's getting referenced now in the chat. Yeah, I would know. D'Angelo Russell, don't waste my time. Forget about it. No thanks. Google that with Seattle weather. I don't know if Farzy gets the Cabana Boy reference. I don't get the. Are you talking about the guy? Are you talking about the reference I made earlier to Nigel Bradham? I assume that's what you're talking about. That's when I referenced the Cabana Boy thing. The whole Pacific Northwest is on fire, Marc. People in Portland are melting. Really, Dan? Is it like a wildfire again? Oh, it's over 100 degrees in Seattle. Most of the houses don't have AC. Crazy stuff. April, thank you. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Here's my only update on Seattle. My buddy married a girl whose family lives out there, and she posts Instagram pictures of like, it was my family in Seattle. And I'm like, oh, Seattle's lovely. And I've been to Seattle multiple times. Seattle is the only city I've ever been to where I saw a homeless person setting their fantasy football lineup. It happened on my walk from my hotel to the football stadium. I was like, oh, well, good for that person. They have a fantasy football team. Good for them. There was also a really weird convention. Like one of those conventions that people dress up as really I don't want to call it weird because I don't want to judge, as different characters from like comics and stuff. And my brother will go to those conventions and sell nostalgia, basically, like your favorite toy that you grew up with that you don't have anymore, but you like to get it back. Odds are my brother like sells that toy. So I was just like, hey, I asked the young lady, I said, hey, what's the convention in town? And I swear to God, you would have said, you would have thought I said, like, you look like a big, stupid idiot. And I didn't. I casually said as I was getting my espresso at Starbucks in Seattle, of all places, of course. And she was like, I was like, damn, I feel like a jerk for even being friendly. Seattle is the home of Frasier. Not that I watch that show too much. JK, nothing can. Jamie Moyer references are happening right now. All right, now there's things happening in the chat that are just well over my head. I apologize, people. That's the social media check-in. Brought to you by Steak and Maine at steakandmaine.com. I do want to say, I meant to mention this after our interview with Hugh Douglas. This is a week out that I'm promoting this. Don't miss next Tuesday's interview with Hugh Douglas. Don't miss it. We might have a special guest with the special guest. We might have a special guest with the special guest. That's a lot of specialness going on right there. That's our social media check-in, brunch. Come on, Marc. Let your nerd flag fly. You know you love a good Comic-Con. Okay, so here's my one thing I'll tell you. Every once in a blue moon, my brother, he's my brother, so you try to help out your brother. And my brother, who's 3 years older than me, my brother Michael, he'll say, hey, can you help me set up at this convention I'm going to be at? And I think, like, I've helped him once. And he goes, can you help me out? And I go, yeah, sure. And I said, yeah, I can help you out. And I went, and it was at the Clarion Hotel by the airport. And I helped him set up, and I'm waiting in the lobby. And I'm like, hey, I'm in the lobby. I called him. And he's like, I'll be right out. Meanwhile, there's people walking around with, like, Klingon foreheads. That was the Star Trek. Star Trek. And then there's people walking around dressed like, I don't know what the hell, just something I've never seen before. And I go, that's got to be a reference to something else. And I'm just, like, looking around like, where the hell am I? And my brother came out, and he goes, he could see the look on my face, and he goes, fish out of water? And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. And he goes, yeah, this is your opposite world. He goes, here, no one can tell you who Chase Utley is. And I go, yeah, I think that's about right. And then he said it would take me about 20 minutes to help set up. It took 2 hours, but whatever. He's my brother, and I helped him out. So there's that. Yeah, I got nothing when it comes to that. When it comes to helping with Comic-Cons. Anyway, that's our social media check-in brought to you by Steak and Maine at steakandmaine.com. Now let's get to our Morning Rush. Morning Rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, skymotorcars.com. Car for every budget. Here we go. We got a couple of clips I want to show for you in our Morning Rush. First off, let's get the NBA out of the way. Clippers, they won. Paul George was amazing. They beat the Suns. They now force a game. Game 6. That's going to be back in Los Angeles. So we'll see how that goes. And we'll got more on that in our Big Bet segment coming up in just a second. But first, let me show you this. Stay in the world of football. Let's go to the world of football, rather. How about Terrell Owens on a football field, showing up at Deion Sanders' cornerback camp, secondary camp? I don't know. And had his way with some high school kids. Check this out. That's T.O. Lining up on the line of scrimmage there in the half red shorts. Look at T.O. move. 47 years old, Terrell Owens. Now look at this kid. This kid actually stays with him. The Eagles need to sign this kid. He actually stays with them and breaks up the pass. How do you like that? And then this last one, forget about it. This kid had no shot. This kid gets toasted. Nice little pattern run here by T.O. Yeah, the pass is a little underthrown still in the corner. Corner couldn't make a play on it. But T.O. still looking good. I mentioned Jalen Hurts earlier. He did an interview. I want to make sure I get this right. Full credit here to WVTM 13 NBC in Birmingham, Alabama, who caught up with Jalen Hurts, Eagles quarterback, to ask him about what was going on behind the scenes in his head when he was transferring from Alabama to Oklahoma, and all the stuff that went on to leading the team national championship, getting benched, and all this stuff. This is the type of mental makeup that you want in your professional athlete, especially your quarterback. Here's Jalen Hurts.
Everything I experienced, I carry with me now, knowing that there isn't a cap. There isn't a cap on what I can do and what I can accomplish. And I'm just excited to be here, excited to be where my feet are, and excited to attack what's to come.
Why can't everybody have that type of mentality? Confidence, swagger, whatever you want to call it. You had transferred schools, had success at Oklahoma, like we were talking about there with Hugh a second ago. Like, all this stuff. Like, I just want every athlete to have that type of mentality. And that's a phenomenal thing to have until the Eagles are terrible and he has that same mentality. And it's like, okay, you're going to talk about how we need to improve here? And here's the thing. I have confidence that he'll at least do that. if stuff starts hitting the fan in the early goings of the season, I don't think that Jalen Hurts is going to be out there in front of the microphone going, well, I think everything's fine. Why don't we just talk about all the things out there that, that all the good things? Why do we got to focus on the 4 interceptions I threw? Why do we got to focus on the bad read I made? Why do we got to focus on guys dropping the ball? Let's just talk about how we scored that one touchdown that one time earlier in the game. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to be that guy. I think Jalen Hurts is going to be flat out pissed if this team isn't performing to the standard that he wants them to perform at. Like that's why mentality and press conferences that give you that window in the mentality matter so much to me, and I think to this city in general, is because we want to know what the athlete's thinking. Yes, the bottom line is the production, but it's not the whole story. We want to know. We want to look into an athlete's eyes and go, oh, yeah, this guy's got it. This guy has at least that confidence. This guy, even when stuff hits the fan, this guy is going to be the guy to pull us out of it or pull his team out of it, more importantly. That's what you want to have, the confidence in any athlete that's putting on a jersey that says Philadelphia on it or whatever. That putting on a city jersey, that's the type of confidence you want to have. That's the type of swagger you want that athlete to have. And Jalen Hurts certainly at least has that. Hopefully he's got the talent to go along with it and can lead this team in a 17-game schedule. Hopefully he can lead them to a couple of victories there. So I look forward to seeing that. Let's jump into our Big Bets segment brought to you by DraftKings and DraftKings Sportsbook. Big Bet segment. Here's what I got for you tonight. Or excuse me, for last night. Paul George, I think going into the game was 31.5 over under. The over obviously hit. Paul George, 41 points. 41 points last night for the Hawks. So that was for the Clippers. So that was good to see. I hit on that, so I got off the schneid, as they say. And then you got coming up tonight, you got the Bucks and the Hawks. Giannis, I like the double-double and the win. Trae Young, ankle injury. So I like the Hawks losing tonight. Bucks winning. I like the double-double for Giannis and the win before they go back to Milwaukee to close out this series for the Bucks. That's my big bet that I'll be making tonight for DraftKings and DraftKings Sportsbook. So make sure you take advantage of all that and more. Wow, people coming out of the woodwork here. April, I've thought about doing the Comic Con. See, the thing that sucks, like obviously coming out of the pandemic, I wanted to be able to do a Farzy in the field at a Comic-Con type of event because, that'd be gold. But, yeah, now that those things are starting to pick up again, I'm probably going to tag along with my brother one more time and do some more Farzy in the field. Do a Farzy in the field at that. Some other people... Marc's checking in saying, no Eagles were at that secondary camp. I want the Eagles to sign that second kid right now. Wow, people are telling me that they enjoy. Who's telling me? Wow. Okay, April. We're all getting to know each other here. My husband goes and has a full Captain America outfit, shield and all. People freak out. That's the thing that really gets me, is it's not the real Captain America. But it's some dude dressed up like, and you're like, let me get a picture with you. People are, hey, man, you're into what you're into. No judgment here. Judgment-free zone on the Farzy Show. Judgment-free zone. My thanks for everyone that listened. My thanks for everyone that watched. Make sure you download the podcast, obviously. Make sure you subscribe on our fine YouTube page as well. Always good catching up with everyone as per usual. You guys are well. April, hold on. Let me just ask you this. Maybe you don't have to answer me now. Maybe tomorrow. Do you dress up for these? Are these? Do you have like a Captain Marvel outfit or something? I don't know. But I have to know. Do you support your husband in that way? And we're all still waiting on that term paper from Temple. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Always great catching up with everybody. My thanks to Jim Hyden who produced the program. This is a Buzz Sports and Entertainment production. Be back with you guys tomorrow to break down some more Phillies conversation, I'm sure, as well as what goes on in the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your day. My name is Marc Farzetta. Take it easy, everybody.